Are we actually dressing for comfort, or are we just defaulting to habits and patterns that we no longer question? Hi, I'm Sophie. Welcome to The Edit, this week at The Colorist, where we deep dive into the why behind my reels. Let's get into it. When we just start dressing out of habit, that's where we start to lose sense of self, sense of personal style, and we no longer are using style as a tool for self-expression. And listen, I know we're busy, but defaulting and just saying that, oh, I like something, or that's what I've always worn, is really an excuse, and you're selling yourself short. So when we're looking at summer bottoms and we're looking at the choices that we're making getting dressed, those bike shorts, the baggy t-shirts, the tight denim shorts, those are probably the same styles I would venture to say you've been wearing for what, the last 5 years? So it's not to say that they're bad, but that's when you know something's just become a default. So that's why I encourage you to look at some of these swaps, the track shorts, the Bermuda shorts, boyfriend jean shorts. Not because you need to buy more, but you need to just be more intentional with how you're getting dressed. And that's also the same thing with those sets. The sets have got to go, okay? The whole point of the set is pure convenience, that you don't have to think about it. Someone else has literally chosen the entire outfit for you. And that's actually the problem, because there's no expression, there's no intention, there's no choice in this. So it's not about like throwing out the sets. You can break up the set. You can swap the top, swap the bottoms, add jewelry, add a different shoe, create that tension, because the tension and the unexpected elements, that's where your personal style lives. That's where like fashion becomes fun. So that's what I'm trying to push you here. And the best way also to play around with this is color. How many of you feel like you're scared of color? You don't know how to use color. You don't want to be too loud. I totally get that it can feel confusing and overwhelming. And that's why this week we talked about some great tips that once you understand them, it will make getting dressed so much easier. Color is one of the easiest ways to change up your style, to look more intentional, to be more expressive, because color is really psychological and emotional and has that pull, you know, if we're wearing really bright, punchy colors, right? It's like fun, loud, bold. If we're wearing more subdued, muted colors, it's softer, quieter, maybe a little bit more feminine, subtle. If we're wearing all black, it's kind of powerful, authoritative. Once you understand the tips of the undertones and the temperatures, what I talked about in that reel, you'll really be able to start combining color, and that will really break you out of your defaults. And that also goes into shoes. How many of us wear the same pair of shoes like every day, right? We don't want to think about it. We want to be comfortable. It's hot outside, so I just grab the Birkenstock. I grab the flip-flop. But that's the whole point. If you're not thinking about it, then why are you wearing it? Fashion is a tool to express your authentic self. So whatever you show up wearing, you're showing the world, this is how I view myself and how you should view me too. So if we're just constantly on autopilot and not thinking about it, it's also showing that we don't really care about ourselves. Start thinking about different pieces that can add the contrast, the unexpectedness, that can make the outfit feel more fun. And that's also why I'm showing more of myself with like what I wore this week, how I'm walking the walk, how I'm incorporating these things into my life, because I know it can be challenging. How do I implement more expression, more personality into my clothes? Personal style isn't just like found online, isn't found through someone telling you what to do. It's found through building it, through trying, through trial and error, through combining things in your own closet. Fashion is supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be expression. And fashion also is an expression of culture. Wherever culture goes, fashion follows. So a lot of these trends and things that we talk about on here are not just like my personal opinion. If we look at where culture's at, we have the World Cup, we have the Winter Olympics, we have Formula One, NBA Finals. We're overcoming this quiet luxury where everything was like kind of uniform and boring. We're just leaning into a lot more of a sporty season in our culture. So that's where these types of pieces come from. When you pay attention to trends, you're paying attention to culture. Obviously, we're not gonna all go buy haute couture and wear cat head shoes. I'm not telling you to do that. I am telling you though, to take inspiration from those things, to take inspiration from your real life experiences and to filter them through your style. Make it more you. That will also help you make more intentional choices on how to get dressed instead of just defaulting with blinders on to wearing what you've always worn. So that's the difference. So I want you this week to really think about that. Where are you defaulting? Why are you defaulting? And how can you change it up? Are there some things that do feel authentically you that you still love to this day, like a Birkenstock? You're wearing that because that is like your purest essence? Then by all means wear that. Or are you just defaulting because it's comfortable, easy, and you don't want to think about it? So how could you change it up? Maybe on drop off on Monday, you put on a Mary Jane, you put on a ballet flat. Maybe you add a crew sock instead of, just wearing your old gym sneaker with no shoes. Just pushing yourself a little bit, because that is where the magic happens. When you push and you try and you break it up, you will feel a lot better and you will be able to make your style feel more like you, more intentional, and a lot cooler. That's all we have for this week. Be sure to check out some of the other questions below, what's in my cart, my favorite things, and I'll see you next week.